hear lots of children who would say, oh, when I grow up, I'd like to be an astronaut, or it's a really kind of slightly mystical, aspirational, like Marsha was saying, traveling to the moon and, outer space. Was that always a desire of yours, or was an astronaut something that kind of came upon you as part of your career path?
When I was growing up in the UK, I was definitely watching the space program, but again, it didn't seem like a pathway that was really open to, a British child. We watched the Americans doing that. We watched the Russians doing it. The Mir space station was being built. The shuttle program was going up. Fascinating to watch, but no British astronauts. And then in 1991, when we had our first British astronaut, Helen Sharman, fly to the space station, it was a one-off commercial mission. And in fact, the government's viewpoint at that time was that in the UK, we don't do human spaceflight. So Helen went on the one mission, but it still didn't open a pathway, a career path for us to follow. And my passion when I was growing up became aviation. And it's very difficult, isn't it, when we look back at our childhood as to where these sparks of inspiration come from. It's sometimes hard to pin it down, but I was fortunate that, aviation became my passion. And so for me, becoming an astronaut later in life, that was more of an incremental journey. And on the one hand, you could look at, Tim Peake, military officer, military test pilot, becomes astronaut. Oh, well, that's fairly typical, isn't it? Actually, I left school when I was 18 with a C, a D, and an E at A level. So I didn't, quite live up to Anne Marie's child prodigy standards there. But I think that's quite an interesting point, because what it meant was that I had to work exceptionally hard ever since leaving school, never stopped studying. I went back to university. I gained my degree in flight dynamics. But it shows that you can always go back and you can achieve things at various different stages throughout your life. And really, for me, it was about the relevance. As soon as I got into the workplace, everything clicked into place and became relevant. Suddenly, logarithms, Laplace transforms, quadratic equations. I needed to know that. I wanted to design flight software. You have to know maths. Go back to school, learn again. And so it was this kind of journey that I went on. It was a more incremental process that led to me having the opportunity to become an astronaut when the UK did have a space agency, when the doors were open to all British applicants, and I found myself in the right time at the right place with the right qualifications to grasp that opportunity. But I think it all goes back to what is it that really sparks the inspiration back in those primary years, and how do we empower our young people with the ability to go and grasp these opportunities?
Tim, obviously, I had a very similar A-level journey to you, in the fact that I really disappointed myself in terms of what I ended up achieving in the end. And then I found teaching, and then found something that I was really good at. And because I found something that I felt really affirmed, my ability to do something well, that's something that I then massively flourished in. Is that what happened with you? Because obviously you achieved great things despite your not so great A-level results for you, but was it the kind of relevance and the passion bit that helped you to have that kind of later on achievement?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's fascinating hearing everybody's, journeys. And I mean, really, my education was old school as well. It was quite a rigid, curriculum, a steady path. We didn't get to explore elephant poo in the classroom. I wish we had. And you migrate to things that you're good at. And, at school, actually, the one thing I really migrated to was extracurricular. It was the cadets. It was outward bound activities. It was flying at the weekends. It was, adventure training courses, Duke of Edinburgh Awards scheme. And these are also incredibly important for our young people to build resilience, to build that growth mindset, and to push yourself out of your comfort zone. But they were things that I enjoyed, and they were things that I was good at. And I wasn't good at pushing myself out of my comfort zone in the classroom. I think that's where there is this fear of failure. I knew I was bottom third of the class. I had a label. You know, I was very aware of that. And I think you wear your labels and you think, well, that I'm not good at this. So you know, I saw other people in the class doing much better. I was struggling. The class was moving on. And so it's not an environment that you feel that you belong, and it's not an environment that you're willing to stick your hand up as a young child and push yourself. And then as soon as you kind of go into the workplace and you free yourself of those burdens, and you can explore the things, and the questions just keep coming, the curiosity keeps coming, and there's nobody to tell you no, and off you go and you run with it. And that's when you go back and you kind of think, or for me anyway, and I think, right, now I need to fill in the gaps that I've missed out on, so I can actually, you know, really take myself and try and, you know, be the best that I can be and fulfill the potential. So you know, we have these journeys, and it's wonderful to hear you know, Simon talking about the kind of things that happen in the classroom now, and we do learn by discovery, and we, you know, and everybody learns at a different stage, and I think it's wonderful that we can now introduce this into the classroom and allow a bit more freedom of exploration and curiosity to delve into those questions.